Wear your masks, take your vaccines, stay home, stay safe.
Today, I'm extremely happy to welcome Archana Kalpati, who is the CEO of AGS Cinemas. In the times that we are going through right now, it is very, very important and imperative that we get an idea of what the businesses are doing to basically, survive and what are the difficulties we are going through. Tanglishla irukom, Tamillayum pesvom, Englishlayum pesvom. Welcome on the show, DRS with Ash. Archana, how are you doing?
Thanks, Ashwin. Great opportunity and lovely to catch up.
ஒரு சினிமா இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில இருக்கீங்க, யூ ப்ராபப்லி த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைன் ஆஃப் பிசினஸ் வேர் ப்ரொடக்ஷன் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன் எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு ஒரு சினிமா தியேட்டர் ஓபன் பண்ண ஐடியா. ஐ வாஸ் கோயிங் த்ரூ சம் ஆஃப் தி ஸ்டஃப். How did it come upon and what are you doing to stay afloat or stay surviving?
See, we have a unique setup because we produce, distribute, and we run theaters. So, I have this ability to have a bird's eye view. So I know what is happening in each industry, the problems, the issues. Right now, I think cinema is going through a very, very challenging time. To start off with production, again, it's very difficult now because social distancing is not possible on a set. In fact, even to get base, because in a set there are a lot of people, like for a small scene, there are like 150 people minimum. So just to get everyone to socially distance is a challenge. So we have to reinvent that wheel. Distribution is only a baby of production. So if there are no films coming out, there is no distribution, and theaters is the same. But with respect to a theater or a multiplex, we have a chain of multiplexes. We have a family of like 500 employees, so it's a large team, and salaries is a big thing for us. Rental is a big thing for us because we have to pay rents. Fixed cost is very, very high, and revenue is zero now. So it is definitely extremely challenging. And so a lot of, when I say stay alive, it's basically three things. One is really staying alive in terms of cash flows, planning cash flows, ensuring that people are paid, vendors are paid, distributors are paid. A lot of those things have to happen. Second thing is to maintain the properties, because we have a lot of very critical equipment, like projectors and generators, and so all that needs to be maintained and cleaned and kept. And third thing is employee morale. The team morale is very, very crucial for us because everyone's talking about cases, and so everyone is like worried about their jobs, they're worried about their families. So third thing is to actually keep everyone in a very healthy state of mind.
So I understand. அதாவது நிறைய இப்போ நீங்க ப்ரொடக்ஷன் யூனிட் அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்க. ஸோ ஒரு ப்ரொடக்ஷன் யூனிட்னா நான் பார்த்துருக்கேன். சும்மா எனக்கு ரொம்ப அது புதுசு. ஓகே, இப்போ நாங்களாம் வந்து எப்படின்னா 5 o'clock மார்னிங் எழுந்து நாங்களே ஷூ போட்டு ட்ரெஸ்ஸை போட்டு நாங்களே வண்டி எடுத்துட்டு ப்ராக்டிஸ்க்கு போனோம். இன்னொரு மூவி இண்டஸ்ட்ரியா எப்படி இருக்கும்னு நான் இமேஜின் பண்ணி பார்த்துருக்கேன். ஒரு ஆட் ஷூட் போனோம்னா ஷூ லேஸ் கட்டி விட கூட ஆள் இருப்பாங்க ஒரு ப்ரொடக்ஷன் யூனிட்ல இருந்து. லைட் மேன் இருப்பாங்க. எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஒரு அவ்வளோ பெரிய ஒரு டீம் ப்ரொடக்ஷன் யூனிட்னு சொல்லும் போது இந்த டீமுக்குலாம் ஆஸ் ஆஃப் நவ் தெர் இஸ் லைக் யூ செட் ஜீரோ இன்ஃப்ளோ, ரைட்? உங்களுக்கு ஜீரோ இன்ஃப்ளோ. ஸோ அவங்களுக்கும் ஒன்றும் வேலையே இல்லை. ஸோ ஹவு டிஃபிகல்ட் இஸ் இட் ஃபார் யூ டு சே கொஞ்சம் பொறுத்து இருப்பா, டைம்ஸ் வில் சேஞ்ச் அப்படிங்கிறது தான் ஒரே சொல்யூஷனா, இல்ல இனோவேஷன் அண்ட் ட்ரைங் டு மூவ் தம் ஆன் டு a different quarter? How do you see it?
Honestly, so how it works is in production nobody is on our payroll except only the cast and crew who we pay. Everything else is association. So light association we pay them. Food na and the association we pay, and the payment trickles down. So all those we can't. I mean, when there's no shooting, none of those people will get any income. They can't work from home. That's the reality. And FFC collected money, even AGS contributed. So a lot of us from the industry made a contribution so that they have enough provisions and food and healthcare. But that's pretty much what can be done. But with respect to, like, I'm working on a web series and things like that, so that we can do on Zoom. So we have our Zoom calls and we discuss how because AGS we spend a lot of time in pre-production and planning.
Okay.
So we are using this time to just do that.
Right. So என்னைக்கு தரக்குதோ அன்னைக்கு பிளானிங் வச்சுட்டு ஃபுல்லா ஆல் அவுட்டா இறங்கலாம்.
Yeah.
இல்ல, நான் எதுக்கு இந்த கேள்வியை ப்ரிசைஸா போட்டு ப்ரொடக்ஷன் யூனிட் கேட்டேன் அப்படின்னா, we have this culture not only in the movie industry but a lot of industries. We tend to outsource பண்றோம் எல்லாத்தையுமே to make things a lot better, a lot more efficient. இது அவுட் சோர்ஸ் பண்ணும்போது இந்த மாதிரி ஆளுங்களோட ஒர்க் ஒண்ணு, அவங்க ப்ரொவிஷன்ஸ் ரீடைன் பண்றதெல்லாம் ஒண்ணு, பட் அவங்க they are direct vendors for us moving out of this business. இப்போ இது எப்ப வெளில வருதோ, whenever we are getting out of this, getting back into it will be an equally challenging part, right? So acquiring such sort of people, will it be a challenge once it's done post?
No, this is not outsourcing, Ashwin. This is union.
Okay.
They basically ensure that minimum wage is paid, so they negotiate the
Likewise,
rates per day.
I'm saying ஒரு கம்பேரிசன்காக சொல்றேன். I understand the unions that work in the movie sector. But I'm saying it is a part of outsourcing மாதிரி தானே. You don't directly have a control over them, so you do go through the union and they send people for you in the production unit. Isn't that how? Have I got it wrong?
That's how it works.
So once you get back into the stead, whenever it is, when into the business, these people have to come back for you, right? Even if not directly for you. அன்னி தேதிக்கு அவங்களோட வெல்ஃபேரை திருப்பி கொண்டு வந்து to keep them in a good state, will it be easier or will it be challenging? How do you see it?
We've never had this situation before ever. Like, I think in 100 years of cinema, this has not happened. Even during the World War, cinema was being made.
Correct.
Movies were being made. This has never happened actually. So no one knows how this is going to be. நிறைய பேர் ஊர்ல இருந்து வருவாங்க. So we don't. They might have just gone back home. So it will take time. We can't just say that the day lockdown is over, this is going to start. This is going to trickle in. It will take at least 45 days to 2 months to consolidate, and then large projects cannot just start off. No.
Right. In the whole equation has changed a little bit, right? Everything is about SOPs. In the business, we have to have an SOP to get people back to work. நிறைய பேர் they work with 50% workforce. அந்த மாதிரிலாம் there are different rules. Different companies are operating differently. Different business houses have. But இது ஒரு ஸ்டாண்டர்டான ஒரு staggering procedure that's remaining. இதெல்லாம் வந்து will it not fall back on the for AGS cinema அப்படின்னு எடுத்தனா it's a massive banner. Okay, when everything comes back together, production, distribution, all these things, இந்த SOPs எல்லாம் வந்து ஃபாலோ பண்ற மாதிரி ஒரு புரோட்டோகால் வச்சு அதை எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்றது அவ்வளவு ஈஸியா இருக்குமா?
That is what we are working on. We have to do it. So honestly, it's easiest to do in cinemas because we already have SOPs.
Right.
So everyone is used to. So when someone joins a job, for 6 months they are only trained on those SOPs. So they have a buddy trainer and a person who will sort of shadow them through the SOPs, because we all can't micromanage everything. So without an SOP, the business will not operate. So now it's only about reworking those SOPs. But distribution is not an issue because distribution is anyway remote. You never face to face. You don't sit and talk to people. It's negotiation. Production is where there are no SOPs. Like Bigil was the first time, I think even within AGS, I put an SOP. Till then we didn't have, but because it was such a large film, security was important. Content being leaked became a big issue. Like a song got leaked for us. So that was when we sort of like brought SOPs into entertainment. SOPs are very important, and at least at AGS, that is what we are working on. So whatever, every day when we go to office, we are taking up every component and trying to figure out how to go about it.
Sorry, okay. Just taking you into the films itself. When you make a movie, like you said, there is a proper process here, right? You're the CEO of AGS Cinemas. And how did it come about as a fact that we are into production, we are into distribution, சினிமாவும் மூவி மல்டிப்ளெக்ஸா நம்மளே பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிற தாட் எங்கேருந்து வந்தது? அண்ட் why is it not being widespreadly followed? It's one of its few banners that we have in the state, if not in the country.
I'll tell you, actually it was just luck because we were a software company, and I'm a computer science engineer. So and the eldest in my family. So my dad was very insistent that I come back and join the family business. So when I came back, we had a lot of real estate, and he had already started production and distribution. So, and I like to build things. So that was when he said, why don't we try? Because that was only Mayajal and Satyam were there at that point of time. Right. So we said, okay, there's an opportunity. And in the US, when I was doing my masters, I used to go and watch a lot of movies over there, and multiplexes were very famous there. So we thought, okay, why not, start that, because it's a logical expansion of the business as such. So that's how it came about.
Right. In itself, you try and keep away from the production and the distribution line. You clearly said that. I've read in a couple of interviews as well. But how much are you a movie buff, or how much do you love movies?
No, I love movies a lot. I watch almost every movie that comes out. I stayed away for a long time because I felt production was very chaotic. And then with Bigil, my dad sort of like threw me under the bus. So I learned the hard way, and now I can say that I am in all three aspects of the business. So
illa Bigil was a deep dive into the business, learning illa it's growing out of
It was
age.
a deep dive. It was a deep dive. No, I was always involved, but my value addition was more because I was in exhibition. I would watch every movie that came out. So every time they wanted input on who to cast or what is the business of this particular hero or heroine, what works, what genre works, they come to me because I watch everything and I have the box office numbers of every hero and every heroine with me because we get the data. So I sort of collate that data. So I always tell them that this will work, this will not work. And
so you're basically a numbers person. You go by data,
yeah.
and all these things are out there, and you're also clearly repeating it. And I can see the the twinkle in the eye when you're talking about numbers and data. Okay, but entering into this business is a little bit. I know a wee little bit, probably not even good enough. But in the movie industry, there is a lot of or not just the movie industry, a lot of industries they have their own staple food diet. மாதிரி அந்த காலத்துல இருந்து ஒரு சிஸ்டம் இருக்கு. It's imprinted, right? யாரு என்ன பண்ணணும், whose job what it is அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. As a woman, you're entering this space which is probably not that frequented by women. And how did you feel it? அது இறங்கின உடனே அது ஏதாவது சேலஞ்சிங்கா இருந்ததா? Enormity of it, anything that you can remember or recall?
No, I'll tell you what, I have the advantage of a backing, right? So I never had I never felt it as a male female thing at all ever because my dad sort of backs me up 100% when he gives me something. Right. So they don't question me after that. So the minute they say this is your responsibility, they don't come in the picture. That means I have the authority to take decisions. And the minute you have that, the male female, finally it's only decision making that
right.
tells you who has the.
That is exactly where I was taking you, because decision making is not that easy, right? In any walk of field, or decision making, it has to be top down. That's complete freedom, and in the case la yen the kelvi ketana, sometimes when the decision making authority, the world is not fair and clean, and we are all pioneering at different places. We find this sort of a difference. And the difference manage பண்றதுங்க as a woman in this industry might have not been very very easyங்கிறதுனால அந்த கேள்வி கேட்டேன். But per se, when you say your dad backs you, how much of hand holding or how much of liberation is there in the business when you come across different sectors, distribution, production, and like you rightly said, AGS Cinemas? எந்த இடத்துல hand holding இருக்கும், எந்த இடத்துல little bit of autonomous?
See, he sort of like lets me make my mistakes.
Okay.
And I think that's very important. When you're mentoring someone, it's very important to let them fail, because nothing will teach you better than failure.
Right.
And I know that if I fail, he is there to help me, or not, nor is he going to judge me. So he lets me take that call, and I think that makes a huge difference when it comes to learning things. So when I say he gives me something, he really gives it. He doesn't.
Example?
No, even AGS Cinemas. So when I started, I was 23.
Okay.
And it was a large project. It was a 20 crore project, and that is a huge amount. I was a kid, right? And he just said, he gave it to me and he said, get the approvals, this. And at one point, and it's very difficult, trust me, if production is nothing when compared to like going to government, getting approvals, meeting people, because it's a whole new world for someone who studied abroad and done engineering. It's a completely different world as such. So when I came and then I went back to him and said that, this is very difficult and they're demanding something or they're asking me all this and I'm scared. He said, if you're scared, please tell me, I'll find a good boy, get married. Be a homemaker, don't come into business, because a boy, girl, being scared doesn't work in business. So you will have to figure it out. So you need to mentally prepare yourself. If I come and step in and help you, then I will never trust you to finish it.
Okay, this making mistakes is a very important thing that you suggested. Making mistakes, generally when you look at parenting, every parent, when they're bringing up their child, they don't want them to make mistakes, right? ஏதாவது ஒரு மிஸ்டேக் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடியே பிடிச்சிடணும். ஒரு சைக்கிள் ஓட்டும் போது விழறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே பிடிச்சிடணும். இல்ல பைக் கொடுக்கறதுக்கு முன்னாடி பைக்ல போனா ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆயிடும், இந்த கார்ல போ. It's like a regular parenting. I don't know about the rest of the world. Rest of the world na அவங்களுக்கு சம்பந்தமே கிடையாது. இந்தியால, especially southern இந்தியால இது ஒரு ட்ரூத் ஆச்சே. How did your father have the courage to do this, allow you to make mistakes?
I don't know. I think that's his philosophy. I think he so, as I used to go to school by cycle from Mahalingapuram. He used to let me do it. He follow me in a car, but I could still go on.
Okay. ரைட். ஏன் எது எனக்கு இந்த சிரிப்பு வந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா, எங்க அப்பா என்கிட்ட சைக்கிள் கொடுத்துட்டு பின்னாடி பைக்ல வந்திருக்காரு. அதனால தான் டக்குன்னு சிரிப்பு வந்துச்சு. ஸோ this whole bit of where you're talking about movies, Bigil and all that, ஒரு banner of coming from production house where you got a reputation. Okay, let's say just that because you got into production now with Bigil, சந்தோஷ் சுப்ரமணியம், ஒரு தனி ஒருவன், then அதுக்கு முன்னாடி there is that one movie, I keep forgetting that movie. இரும்பு கோட்டை, முரட்டு சிங்கம், இந்த மாதிரி மூவிஸ் பேனர்ல இருந்து வந்திருக்கிற போது what is the responsibility? Do you when you look at production, do you listen to stories at all? Have you got into that?
Yeah.
Okay, when you listen to stories, do you know straight away what works and what doesn't work? How do you make a decision?
No, you can picture it when they tell you how it works, and you do know. But what happens is it's very tricky because sometimes they will narrate very well, but they cannot implement it.
Okay.
And the magic will not happen. It can fail, and it's happened many times. So it's not that you pick a bad script. You will never pick a bad script. So fundamentally, the line of the film will be good, but somewhere, because it's an amalgamation of three things: it's the script, it's the director who sort of takes the journey, and the cast and crew. That chemistry needs to work. Because the line will be very, very simple. It's like a very simple thing, but that needs to work, and that's only luck. So if anyone claims anything else, I think it's
so ஒரு மூவி ஹிட் ஆறதோ இல்ல ஃபெயில் ஆறதோ ஒரு லக் தான் சொல்றீங்களா?
80% effort, 20% luck. For super hit, blockbuster to good movie ko it's a luck factor.
இல்ல, ஆக்சுவலி நான் ஒரு ஹீரோட்ட பேசினேன். the hero said என்னன்னா, he said அதான் வந்து டைரக்டர் வந்து ஒரு ஸ்டோரியை சொல்லுவாரு. சொன்ன உடனே அது என் மைண்ட்ல ஒரு படமா ஓடும். அது ரெண்டும் மேட்ச் ஆச்சுனா தான் படம் ஹிட் ஆகும் அப்படின்னாங்க. so now that there is a third work, right? You're the producer. so உங்ககிட்ட கதை சொல்லும்போது you will have something running in your head. Will you want to handhold the director and find if the image is forming? How do you go about it business? Everybody goes about it in a different way. How do you go about it?
Initially, I think when we started off, we would just give it to the director. And then we made a few mistakes. So then we started watching rushes and things like that. Now, I try and I usually watch it as and when it's being shot, parts of it. So we sort of like keep track of what is happening, but more from a budget standpoint, because for us it's very different from others, because what we do is we do short breakdowns and we put schedules and we say how many shots can be taken in one day and our budget. So for us, after we listen to the story and cast, for us it's only a numbers thing. We don't get into it's the director's job to make the magic click.
நீங்க விஷுவலைஸ் பண்ண மாதிரி வரணும்னா நீங்க பார்க்க மாட்டீங்க. so you'll just stay away from that. Okay. Right. இல்ல, இப்போ you said something called the rushes. What's a rush?
A rush is raw edit. As soon as they take something, they show it to us. So it won't have music, it won't have effects. Like if you close the door, you'll see that you'll hear that sound, right? All that is effects. It's added much later.
Okay.
When you watch it, you won't hear anything. You just hear dialogue.
அதுல ஒண்ணுமே தெரியாது. அதை பார்த்து எப்படி முடிவு பண்றது? சரி, ஓகே. சோ ஜெனரலி இந்த மூவியோட அந்த ரன் டவுனை பத்தி கேள்வி கேட்டேன். சோ நான் அதே ஹீரோ கிட்டயும் கேட்டேன். இந்த ஹீரோ ஆல்சோ டூயிங் a little bit of production and I asked him, இப்போ ஒரு பட்ஜெட் இருக்கு, let's say you know the hero. Okay, fine. Let's leave it for now. So இந்த ப்ரொடக்ஷன் வந்து let's say ஒரு next amount 100 rupees or whatever it is be the amount. ஏன்னா crore ல பேசுறதுக்கு இது wrong time. So 100 rupees அப்படினா 100 rupeesல முடிஞ்சிருமா படம்?
No 200 ஆகும்.
200 ஆகுமா? How do you factor it in? அப்புறம் எப்படி அதுல வந்து losses and profits எப்படி பார்க்க முடியும்?
No, so ஒரு மாதிரி what we do is we sort of split the budget into three. One is the fees, the fixed fee which happens for all the cast and crew. One is post production and then the shooting days. So shooting days வந்து we will so ஒரு ஹீரோன்னு எடுத்தனா in the market ன்றது we know the selling price, right? So we fix the selling price and the fixed cost is over. Then whatever is the in between is what we have to play with. So in that we keep one buffer amount and then we tell the director this much is only available.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is 100 rupees அப்படினா you fix 50 rupees to whatever the fixed cost is, which becomes a salary. Salaries மட்டும் தான் வருமா fixed costல? A lot of other stuff.
Salaries, அதுக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து all the set cost, artwork, art department க்கு ஒரு காஸ்ட் இருக்கும், post production க்கு ஒரு காஸ்ட் இருக்கும், which is dubbing, editing.
Art department க்கு கத்து வர டைரக்டர் வேற. So அதெல்லாம் that will come under fixed cost, is it?
All that will come under fixed cost.
ஓகே, இப்ப வேரியட் காஸ்ட் மிச்சம் 50 ரூபா இருக்கு, டைரக்டர் கிட்ட சொல்லிடுவீங்க. அப்புறம் மீதி 100 ரூபா எதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க?
We will tell the director to do it within 30. We'll keep 20% buffer.
ஓகே, சோ 80 rupees தான் செலவு பண்ண சொல்லுவீங்க. ஆனா 100ல இருந்து 200 ஆகும் சொல்றீங்களா? அது எப்படி ஆவி பிடிக்கும்?
Per in a fixed cost la irukadu. This is only 20% of your the daily
okay,
shooting cost la தான் உங்களுக்கு shoot up ஆகும். It cannot shoot up anywhere else unless you have CG.
Right. So basically what you're saying is you'll have a daily budget according to the shoot days.
Daily budget. I have a daily MIS. So I have what is called a single sheet, which where the director has to write and give me all the props he needs, all the artists he needs. எல்லாமே போட்டுட்டு it's like an MIS. So அதோட போட்டு எனக்கு நாளைக்கு ஷூட்னா ஒரு 2 days முன்னாடியே இது நம்பர் வந்துரும். Then I will look at the budget and okay every single line item and say where I can give what I can't give, and then it moves on.
Oh my god. Okay. So now right. Okay. So when we are talking about these blockbusters and all that, இல்ல கான்ஸ்டன்ட்டா சொல்லுவாங்க. இப்போ ஏதாவது ஒரு படம் பேர் சொன்னா பிரச்சனை ஆயிடும். ஏதாவது ஒரு X மூவி இருக்கு. X மூவி made 200 crores அப்படினுவாங்க. 200 crores யார் நியாயமா நீங்க தானே பண்ணணும். ஏன்னா நீங்க தானே பைசா போட்டுருக்கீங்க. நீங்க பண்ணுவீங்களா யார் பண்ணுவாங்க?
So there's something called gross box office collection. Gross ன்றது வந்து how much a theater collects. So that is that will be 120 plus your GST. So the total amount is gross. Then net one is what the theater collects after removing GST and local body entertainment tax. That is your net. Adukapra we come to what is called the share. So between a theater owner and the distributor. So I will keep 50% and I will give 50% to the distributor. Distributor will take 10% commission and give 40% to the producer.
Oh, okay. Right. Fine. So this is when they say in the movie இவ்ளோ பண்ணிருக்கு அப்படினா so அதுல இவ்ளோ காஸ்ட் ஃபேக்டர் இன்டா இருக்கு. So basically what you do is can it be assumed that it is some sort of inflated rate and nobody actually will make it? ஏனா எதனால கேக்குறேன்னா a lot of fans end up saying 200 crores pa இந்த ப்ரொடக்ஷன் யூனிட் வந்து இந்த ப்ரொடக்ஷன் டீம் வந்து இவ்ளோ பைசா பண்ணிருக்காங்க இந்த வருஷம். So that is not the truth then, right?
No, because they only take theatrical amount. They don't know the satellite, they don't know internet rights, audio.
Okay.
There are a lot of other sources of revenue also that come in. Then like if you take Bigil, you have Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra, then there is worldwide box office. So all that will sort of factor in.
So everything together put in, it will have a different number also spin on it.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay, so now you spoke about internet. I'm getting into the next part of it, piracy, which is spoken about at length. So இப்போ internet rights அப்படின்னா எங்க அது ஸ்டாப் ஆகும்? How do you stop piracy with movie theaters? You know, theaters do struggle because of piracy, right? So how do you stop it? Is there a mechanism to do it?
Actually, more than theaters, producers only struggle because of piracy. Because those who want to watch it in theaters come and watch it in theaters. It's those who are more inclined to watch it online. So not only the theater owner, even the producer loses. So 50% of the losses to the theater and 50% of the losses to the producer.
Okay. இல்ல பட் முன்னாடிலாம் மைக்கேல் மதன காமராஜன் ஒரு படம் ரிலீஸ் ஆச்சு. 100 days 200 daysலாம் தியேட்டருக்கு போய் மக்கள் எல்லாம் படம் பார்த்தாங்க.
இப்போ இன்டர்நெட் ஸ்கிரீன்ஸ் ரொம்ப கம்மி. இப்போ நிறைய ஸ்கிரீன்ஸ் இருக்கு. அதனால நிறைய பேர் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 3 daysலயே படத்தை பார்த்துருவாங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 3 daysலயே பார்த்துருவாங்க. அப்போ இருந்த ஸ்கிரீன் கவுண்ட்க்கும் இப்போ இருக்கிற ஸ்கிரீன் கவுண்ட் இஸ் much more.
Okay, right, got it. So now இப்போ இந்த piracy அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து constantly there are these film organizations who talk about piracy saying the piracy is killing it is killing the business of a sort அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. But in the COVID times a lot of statement is going around OTT platforms, right? In the OTT platforms will be a supplement for the movie industry and the theater industry, or is it some sort of a substitute? What is it? What is the OTT platform? What does it mean to you?
OTT is actually very, very good for cinema, because what a lot of people don't understand is there are so many films that don't get a theatrical window at all. You know, out of the 150 or 200 films that come out in a year, we can't release everything in theaters. And there are a lot of small films that like run for 2 days or 3 days, because in theaters the capex is so high. If a movie that runs at 10% occupancy or 15% occupancy, it doesn't make sense for us to continue it. And the reality is star films do very well in theaters. If it's a non-star film, it takes a lot of word of mouth, it takes a lot of marketing to get people to actually come to the theaters and watch. That's the reality right now. But OTT gives an opportunity for these films to come there. But இப்போ வந்து current COVID scenario என்ன ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா, Jyotika's film came. She's a star. But her film came in OTT, which is a big So theaters, feel that if star films start going to OTT, and when we open, we might not have content. But the truth is, we have a lot of content with us, and a producer also has interest cost. That's a ticking time bomb, right? So theaters can't say that you guys wait, we'll keep paying you the interest cost till we open. That's also not a realistic option. So my view is I've chosen to like sort of say that, and not OTT is not buying all the films that are in line. There is a lucky few handful who are getting a chance right now. And another thing that a lot of people don't know is OTT bases the value of a theatrical value of a film to bid for its OTT right. They never buy the OTT beforehand unless it's a big film like a Vijay sir film or an Ajit sir film. Then they will come, or Rajini sir film, they'll come and they will even before movie release they'll buy. Same thing for theatrical or anything. But smaller films, they will never buy it before the movie release. They will come, they will see how it is doing in the theaters, and then do it. And no producer will ever showcase their film to any distributor or theater owner or OTT before selling it, because only we know how the movies come out. We will never tell them what is happening, or it's like our baby. So for us, it's perfect, and we will expect the best possible price. So now everyone is complicating everything, but my thing is it will come back to normal once theaters open. Because avungalukku it's not safe. They've bought so many movies. Only when the movies release, they will know the quality of the films they have bought. English, it's a big problem for us because we really don't have small crew sizes. As you rightly pointed out, we are spoiled. We have people giving juice for us. We have someone doing makeup. See, and how do you do makeup? That means because you share brushes, you share everything, right? So it's touch up panano. It's just, and first of all, even after a shot, you have to go talk to your camera, and then producer will be there. Everyone is going to be sitting behind the monitor and looking at the shot. It's a fight scene. How can you hit somebody or touch someone? It's not you can't shoot anything unless everyone's wearing a mask and you're doing a movie on Corona.
Time we move on. Or fantasy, technology, it's time. Because I think every industry is going to go through this. In fact, there was a meme the other day when I was looking out for cricketers saying, hey, என்னடா மாஸ்க் போட்டு வந்திருக்கான் அந்த பேட்ஸ்மேன் எவ்வளவு வாட்டி இதே பேட்ஸ்மேன் வந்திருக்கான் அப்படின்னு ஒரு இது. So all these things are on a lighter note, but every industry will have to learn to live on with it. So on a lighter note, we know that you're also a massive cricket fan. Your son, I've seen your son Aditya also play the game. You're a big fan of Sachin Tendulkar, and your father himself is invested in the game at the club level. So tell me something about your interest in the game. Why just AGS Cinemas? Why not a cricket team, an IPL team?
You know what? Then I will stop loving it. Okay, that will become a job. I think cricket is something I'll still love and watch. Otherwise, if you're invested too much in it, like my dad doesn't enjoy it too much because for him, he's always like worried who's going to win championship pocha. He's always stressed about it. I'm very happy because for me, I can still sit and see, even if the other person plays a nice shot, I can still say what a lovely shot and look at that off drive, and I can just be happy.
Okay, just relating cricket to movie theaters, like moving on, let's say there is a cricket match. Has it ever crossed your mind that we can probably display the game live in the theaters where people can come watch it, have a cup of...
I've always wanted to, but regulation doesn't allow it.
Is it? And what sort of regulation?
So we have a rule because there are so many films and so many small films. People are very worried that if we start showcasing matches, then they will not get slots for films.
Okay.
So there is an actual rule in Tamil Nadu Cinema Regulation Act where we cannot showcase anything other than cinema.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is why we don't showcase.
Okay, because I thought it's a business. I thought it's a business decision. People get a lot of now that you're saying this, I've always wanted to ask this question. There are a lot of unions in the movie industry, right? எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஒரு யூனியன் இருக்கு. ஒரு let's say ஒரு டூப் போடுறாங்கல்ல, அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு யூனியன் இருக்கு. ஃபைட் சீக்வென்ஸ் பண்றவங்களுக்கு ஒரு யூனியன் இருக்கு. டான்சர்ஸ் யூனியன் இருக்கு. இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய யூனியன் இருக்கு. How difficult is it for a production team to rally around all these unions and get the work done?
No, it's actually not. We're used to it. We're used to it, and they are there to protect them because not all producers might sometimes pay.
Right.
Or they might not pay the right amount. So, and some of them might not have the means to follow up and get the payment. A union will help them consolidate and do that, and also mediate, because there is bound to be a lot of conflict that happens during a film shoot. So then the union will come and help mediate. So it's quite okay.
Okay, right. I'm going to finish it on a really light note with a couple of questions. Top 3 films, Tamil films that you love the most. அதாவது repeat modeல பார்க்க முடியும். அந்த மாதிரி 3 films.
Will be Gilly, I
Okay.
think, and then Santosh Subramaniam, which is also our production, and Basha.
பாஷா. ஓகே, இது மூணுமே ஒரு மாதிரி என்ன சொல்றது, ஒரு there is a little bit of ஒரு சந்தோஷ் சுப்ரமணியம்ல ஓகே ஒரு ஃபாதர் அண்ட் சன் டச், ஃபேமிலி டச். பாஷாலையும் கில்லிலையும் ஒரு லைட் ஒரு சூப்பர் ஹீரோ டச் ஓடுது. இப்போ ஒரு கோவிட் டைம்ல கொஞ்சம் நெகட்டிவா என்னடா அது எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் வீட்லயே இருக்கும் அப்படிங்கிற போது ஒரு 3 ரியலி ஹியூமரஸ் தமிழ் ஃபிளிக்ஸ் பார்க்கணும் அப்படின்னா 3 ஹியூமரஸ் ஃபிளிக்ஸ் that you latch on to.
Michael Vannakamara also. Like that's one. I think Panchatantram.
Right.
Because that movie is also like really funny. And but honestly, I've only been watching Friends a lot.
Okay, right. So the feel good factor of it.
Or
Okay, nice.
Seinfeld or those
Right.
things. Like,
எனக்கு அந்த சஜஷன் கொடுத்தாங்க, நான் அந்த மாதிரி மூவி பார்க்கும்போது ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் பாருங்க, செமையா இருக்கும், செமையா
Yeah.
இருக்கும். In fact, I think a lot of people are watching Friends. On one final note, because it's cricket, I cannot leave cricket and I'm a cricketer. Top 3 favorite cricketers
ever.
Yeah.
Vivian Richard.
Okay.
Then Steve Waugh
Right.
and Dhoni.
Right. Okay. Sachin Tendulkar fan கேள்விப்பட்ட, சச்சின் பேரே
Yeah, but
வரல.
that's known, right? That's like a
So
given.
இது எப்படின்னா இந்த 3 பேருக்கு முன்னாடி சச்சின் டெண்டுல்கர் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் போட்டுடலாமா அப்படி? சோ இந்த 4 நேம்ஸ்ல ஒரு நேம் தான் வந்து ஒரு மாதிரி மாடர்ன் ட்ரெண்ட் ஆஃப் T20 கிரிக்கெட்லயே சிக்னிஃபை ஆயிருக்கு. மத்த எல்லாமே ஒரு டெஸ்ட் கிரிக்கெட் வாட அடிக்குது. அது ஏன் அது?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Right.
a test cricket lover. Like, I don't like T20.
You don't like T20 cricket? Nice. That's very interesting. Okay. On one final question. So you'll probably, if you had to telecast and you're allowed to telecast a game in all your Aegis Cinemas theaters, India versus Australia, Border Gavaskar Trophy, first test match between India and Pakistan in the last 15-20 years or whatever it is, or a T20 match between CSK and Mumbai Indians, the final of IPL, which would you telecast?
Actually, my all-time favorite is that one match where Sachin will hit a century in the sandstorm in Dubai, and we will tie the series.
No, I'm talking about a futuristic prediction. இந்த 3 மேட்ச் உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்குறேன். இனிமே தான் நடக்க போகுது இந்த 3 மேட்சும். CSK Mumbai final. India Pakistan test match revival. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. I look forward to that day where you telecast the game in Aegis Cinemas. என்னோட favorite theater actually T Nagar Aegis Cinemas தான் இப்போ. So I will probably come there and watch the test match in a few years time. All the very best, Archana. I hope these times don't last, and I hope the theater industry, the production industry, distribution industry, everything bounces back and a lot of people live from what you do. It's not an easy task because you said like 500-member family. So it's never easy, and I really wish you all the luck for you to go ahead. All the very best.
Thank you so much. Lovely chatting with you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.